Peace and light, cosmic soul. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, welcome. I am so happy to have you here with us today. If you are a returning subscriber, what's the game? Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Put those post notification bells on so you can get notified every time I drop a new video. I'm back here again, as I told y'all, with the consistency. Cause I'm on a road to 100K. 100K, y'all. 100K, like, don't that sound like success? It just sounds like success. It just does, right? Well, I brought you guys here with me today because I wanted to touch bases on transformation, on shifting, on evolving from being the black sheep to being, your own individual person, finding individuality within that. And I know it can be hard. Like, I understand that, because I myself, I feel like I'm a black sheep, so I understand that, like, it can be really hard, because you want to speak your mind, you want to feel heard, you want to release it, you have questions that nobody could really give you answers to but yourself, unless you're, like, doing the work or whatever. So yeah, I feel like I was always the black sheep. I felt like I was allowed to speak my mind, but I would get backlash for it. Just like, why are you saying this? Like, it was a clash. It was just too much. And then I also felt like I've been, like, neglected on top of that. I felt like I've been emotionally abused on top of that. Physically, I felt like there were so many, like, just outcomes of just being the black sheep, that I had to go through, so many trials and errors I had to go through with family. And I feel like the main question is, how did I keep my individuality in the midst of that? How did I stay connected to myself? How did I stay connected to source? How did I keep a relationship with the universe? How do I keep moving? Because I'm still living with family until further notice, because don't get it twisted, I plan to move out soon. Like, really, I want to move out. I don't think there's anything left for me here. I'm ready to close this chapter of my life and begin a new chapter. I'm ready to let go. I'm ready to release it all. So yeah, I'd say there's a lot of things I have to do to keep me sane, to keep my individuality, to keep me sacred, because it takes a lot to take care of yourself. It really does. It takes a lot to keep up with maintenance. It takes a lot to keep up with your mental. I started off by actually going to college to help with that, to detach from home. I moved to college, and while I was there, I realized I was depressed. That's when I actually realized I was depressed. And how I realized that? I was smoking every single day. I did not go to class. I went to Valdosta State University, stayed there for a semester. Throughout that semester, I think I went to class, like, not even 5 times, probably. Yeah, I didn't have any friends. I'm like, damn, I can't do this shit. I can't comprehend this shit. Every time I felt like there was a challenge, or something was hard for me, I would give up and I would go smoke. all I did was smoke. All I did was listen to music and smoke. That was my coping mechanism. It was unhealthy. I don't recommend that. I mean, I do recommend smoking, but not to like deal with problems. You can't just smoke and say, that's how I'm gonna cope. That's unhealthy. Now I can see if you're smoking, setting intentions with that, smoking, journaling, smoking, doing the inner work. I can understand that. But for me, I was 17. I wasn't even 18 yet. And I was already just like, fuck it. I don't give a fuck. Next semester, I'm gonna do better. Knowing I did not want to stay at that school. So much shit just happened on top of that. Like, so much shit. It fucked with me mentally. So, I came back home. I started journaling. I started doing hair. Journaling really helped me. I feel like I actually really connected with myself a lot because there were like questions I was asking myself. I was asking source. I was actually reading this book. It's called One Day My Soul Opened Up. I'm gonna try to place it here, but yeah, I was reading that book and it has questions in there as well. So I was answering the questions. I was opening up. I didn't realize how like much release that gave me. Like, I didn't realize at the time like what it was really doing for me, because it was like 30 days and 30 nights of spiritual growth. So like, it really took me like 2 months to finish that book, honestly, because I was taking my precious time. I was living in the moment. I don't kind of like rush to read my books, honestly. I like them to saturate in my soul. On my soul. Like, I hate that shit. Like, bro, like, I'm not to get off topic, but bro, when I first seen the on my soul, like, nigga, like, it was a prank. It was a prank saying on my soul to like my significant other or whatever. And the next thing you know, like, people are literally just saying that now, like, oh my soul. Like, I didn't say that. Like, oh my soul. Like, what? It's so like, what? That shit's cringy. I don't give a fuck. That shit is cringy. But back on topic. So yeah, I was just journaling. I was finding out like new ways to release. That's one thing. I was reading. I was on my Zoom doing my YouTube channel. I started online classes again at my local community college. And the more I evolved, the more, I started to shed layers. The more I started to detach from my ego, the more I just started to get more active within my spirituality. Started going outside, connecting with nature, grounding, listening to music, keeping up with my makeup, exercising, doing yoga, getting out more. Like, all those things honestly help you, like, I wouldn't say distract you, but like, they help you cope with being the black sheep and, not letting everyone cloud your mind up with their thoughts. It keeps you still, it keeps you calm, and it keeps faith within your heart. So yeah, that's all I do, honestly. Like, I do what makes me happy at the end of the day. And I also created a plan. I've had different plans. It's okay if you don't know exactly what you want to do, but as long as you know how to get there, as long as you know the healthy routes that you are going to take to try to, like, have a good foundation and future for yourself, And I feel like I'm at a plan now where, like, I feel like this plan can work. I feel like the plan is realistic. And I just have to put it into motion. I have to believe in myself. And it comes to a point where, like, sometimes, you have a plan, but since you have that plan and you're in the comfort of being at home, and nothing's going to happen to you because you're at home, but you got to prioritize your mental health. You got to know, like, damn, that shit was fucked up. I have to leave. once you come to that awareness, that knowing, you understand, like, okay, fun is important. It is important for me to live. It is important for me to get out this house, go out with some friends in a healthy way. But doing it back to back consistently, like, and you know, that adds up money, you going out, spending your money, all this shit, you can't keep doing that. And it gets to a point where it's becomes so repetitive to the point you crash out, to the point it's just like, I have to exclude myself from all this shit. I feel like I'm at that point now because I really do want to go. I feel like I'm at a point where it's just like I have to exclude myself from the fun so I can have the actual fun. You get what I'm saying? And sometimes we have to make sacrifices, and that's okay, because these are important sacrifices to get you to where you want to go. These are sacrifices that you can agree with, you can meet in the middle with. And sometimes it's like that, but it helps you gain a sense of maturity. It helps you gain a sense of awareness, and that's what we strive for. We strive for wisdom, awareness. We strive for maturity. We strive for, you know, being intelligent, making the right decisions. And it's like, you can never like teach anybody else, you know, about, you know, like goal setting and share your experience if you're not learning from your own experience, or if you're not actually making sense of what's actually going on within your circumstances. If you're not taking time out and be like, hey, like, you really do have to be mature about this, you know, like, being a black sheep is not no joke. You are important. Your feelings do matter, and it's like, you cannot suppress those. And it's like, once you suppress those, it's like you feel yourself deep down lying to yourself. You don't want to get to that point. I've got to that point. You don't want to get to that point where it's like, you know, you're denying yourself. You know, you're denying yourself of the truth. You know, you're denying yourself of the love that you deserve. You're lying to yourself, and it's not in a disappointing way, but in a sad way, because it's like, you deserve so much more. You really do. You do deserve so much more, and you will get so much more if you just take the time out to be honest with yourself. And the way you can be honest with yourself is taking accountability of what you have done, not in like a parental way, but like take accountability of looking back at your actions and saying, did that add up with where I want to align? Even though at the end of the day, everything happens for a reason. Even though at the end of the day, you have to do certain shit to get to where you're supposed to be. Like, you can't succeed without failing 1,000 times. You have to fail. It's in our nature, because we're human. We can't control it. We're not perfect. So, but I feel like you can avoid a lot of failing if you just make the smart decisions, if you actually do think logical. I don't think being logical is just a masculine trait. I feel like being logical is very intelligent, especially if you are focused on independence. If you are a very independent person, you do have to be logical about a lot of things. But yeah, that's all I wanted to get into today. Thank you guys for watching. I feel like I need to get that off my chest, because look, I'm speaking from my experience and my experience only. I'm speaking from what I see. I'm speaking from what I know. I'm speaking from what I read. And take what resonates. If it didn't resonate with you all the way through, that's okay. But, you know, take what does resonate. And yeah, I'm happy you guys listened to my little TED Talk today. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Put those post notification bells on. And peace and light, cosmic soul. Peace out.